And if anyone fancies bringing a pen and paper, that's absolutely fine as well. Or this will be available, available as a recording on Facebook or YouTube if you want to refer back. But it might be things that you've sort of heard of or come across before, but just hopefully will give an opportunity to maybe put some of these ideas into practice if you wish. How are we doing for time? So it's about 9:30. So I think I'll go ahead and make a start. And as I said, this will be made available as a recording. So feel free to share with anyone that you think might benefit. So we'll make a start. So the idea today really is to have a bit of a discussion about ways in which we can invite mindfulness into our everyday lives. So it doesn't, first of all, I think it's important to say that mindfulness doesn't need to feel like a bit of an elusive art that requires us to be Zen masters or yoga gurus. It's more a state of being that all human beings can sort of tap into when we choose to drop out of emotions and judgments and come into sort of acceptance of the here and now. So it only requires attention and an attitude of curiosity and openness. They're the two main things I'd say to kind of remember and take home. It's about attention and attitude. So we don't need any equipment or special training, and we've got the perfect arena really for practicing, and that's everyday life. So some really good quality research continues to emerge that tells us about the benefits of mindfulness physically, mentally, emotionally. And I think this practice is becoming increasingly popular as it's been shown to support our health, our happiness, our well-being in lots of different ways. So first of all, I'll talk through a couple of examples and demonstrate, and then at the end I'll demonstrate how we might have a go at practicing mindfulness together with a short body scan relaxation. So again, you won't need anything for this. You can stay seated in the chair, lie down if you wish, come to sit on the floor or a sofa, however feels best. So let's start today with eating mindfully. So this is an activity that we each do a few times a day, giving us lots of opportunity to choose from to practice. So it doesn't need to be every meal or numerous times a week, but perhaps when the moment takes us and as often as we feel able, really. So it might not be convenient to practice in the staff room or with family when having discussions around a table, when trying to hold a conversation. But how about if we eat breakfast by ourselves, or if we're fortunate enough to take our lunch outside? It isn't necessarily about changing the way we eat, how we eat, or when we eat, but it's about allowing ourselves to be fully present with the act of eating without distraction or haste. So eating mindfully can involve checking in with the senses. That can be a really nice way to start practicing mindfulness, is just to come back to the five senses really every time that we engage in certain activities. So with mindful eating, it might be thinking about what you can see, the colours, the shapes of the food, how does the food smell, taste of each ingredient, are we able to pinpoint each separate ingredient from the dish, what are the textures of the food, how was it made, where did it come from, how is it put together, thinking about how active each of the senses are whilst we're eating can help us to stay present and really savour the meal and bring gratitude to that experience, and also to slow down the process, which is beneficial for our digestion and just helps us to stay in the moment and with something that's hopefully an enjoyable activity for a little bit longer, rather than just going through the motions and rushing through. So the next activity I thought we'd talk about is walking. And I appreciate that sometimes we have to get places by a certain time and we need to get a wiggle on to do that. But maybe there are other times in our day or our week when we can take time to walk without any real intention to get somewhere by a certain time or as quickly as possible. Maybe taking the dog for a walk or taking a stroll around the local park, perhaps in the morning or evening. And similarly to eating, we can become fully present with the senses whilst we walk. So what can we hear? Maybe bird song or conversation. Can we feel the breeze or the sun on our skin? Perhaps the sensations of the muscles acting to help us move, the pressure of the feet walking on the path. Can we smell cut grass or flowers? It doesn't need to be even positive senses as such, or smells that we enjoy, but it's more about recognising what is there and stepping away from judging that. But really looking around and perhaps noticing things we haven't seen before, colours, shapes, nature, and trying to not bring those judgments, but just bringing an awareness to the world around you, and simply taking in your surroundings. So the next one, and I can't speak for anyone else, but I find being mindful while washing up incredibly challenging. So I try as much as possible to use this activity as an opportunity to really practice mindfulness. I find that my mind is nearly always engrossed in my to-do list or daydreaming about reading my book outside. But it is an activity where some of us without a dishwasher can consider bringing some mindfulness. So we can be present with the temperature of the water, the smell of the soap suds, the sensation of the hands, and the sort of texture of whatever it is that we're using to wash up with. It's coming back again to without judgment, what is it we're doing, how are we doing it, and how does it feel, and using those senses to check in really. So it's about really seeing life as it presents itself at that given moment, without residing in the past or trying to move forward more quickly into the future. And showering might be quite similar. So it's often said that we come up with grand ideas in the shower and solve some of our biggest problems or challenges. And it can be really difficult to just shower whilst having a wash. So without living out the rest of our days in our heads, or perhaps judging our productivity so far that day or that week. But can we instead just enjoy the sensation of the water, the smell of the soap, and the peace and quiet perhaps of just being by ourselves in that moment? So we don't need to give ourselves the added pressure of being mindful all day, every day, but it is about practice and having that intention to give it a go and see how it makes you feel. So I think it's nice to just have a think about these different opportunities that arise naturally in the day. And if you find yourself halfway through that activity and that ping of mindfulness pops up for you, just check in. It might just be for a minute before the mind wanders again, or we're distracted. But any moment, any opportunity that we have to use the senses to come back to the present and to be fully in the here and now is beneficial for us emotionally, physically, mentally, and it can also help us to carry that forward into any challenges or difficulties that might arise, where we might bring lots of feelings and emotion, where we might have expectations or assumptions and presume that things are going to go a certain way, when actually by staying in the moment we can make choices based on what's happening here and now. So I thought we'll move forward now into trying a body scan meditation together. And this might help us to reconnect and feel a bit more familiar with our bodies and our sensory organs, really. So the body scan is proven to be an extremely powerful and healing form of meditation, and it involves sort of systematically sweeping through the body with the mind and bringing an affectionate, open-hearted and interested attention to the various parts of the body. So again, it comes back to what I said at the beginning about having a curiosity, asking those questions. What can I see? What can I feel? What can I smell? Using the senses. And this gives us a chance to be curious and also to be grateful for the many incredible ways that our body supports us and enables us to be who we are and to do what we enjoy doing. So feel free to get comfortable wherever you are. Have a sip of tea, You're welcome to sit on a chair, on the floor, perhaps to lie down, hopefully somewhere quiet and without distraction as far as possible. And then once you've arrived in that space, don't feel that you need to be completely isolated. If anything, it can be a more helpful practice to have a little bit of the real world going on around you, because it helps you to anchor, it helps you to find points of interest that you can bring your mind to. So to begin, if you feel comfortable just closing the eyes or softening the gaze, and just begin by feeling either the floor if you're lying down, or the bed, or the seat supporting you. So see if you can relax and really allow yourself to be supported. And I admit that might feel quite strange, especially in the morning if we've woken up and we have some energy. But just see if we can give ourselves permission just to relax a little bit and to feel supported. Allowing the muscles to relax and the breath just to rest in its natural rhythm. Perhaps noticing the changing sensations as you breathe in and out. And if during the body scan you detect any sensation that feels particularly pleasant or perhaps uncomfortable, we might feel the urge to hang on to those pleasant sensations or push away any that don't feel enjoyable. And part of the practice is to see if we can instead be with that sensation of uncomfort or pleasure without clinging to it or pushing it away. So coming back to the direct experience of the moment, feeling directly without any interpretation or judgment, but just accepting of what is. So we'll bring our attention first of all to the top of your head and simply feeling whatever sensations are there. There may be a warmth, we might see a particular colour, just noticing. And then very slowly letting your attention move down the front of your face. And just being aware of anything that you encounter, any tightness, any pressure, whether pleasant, painful or neutral. Just sweeping over the contours of the face, your forehead, nose, mouth and cheeks. Just recognizing is your jaw clenched or loose? Turning your attention to your eyes and feeling the weight of your eyelids, the brush of your lashes. Feeling your lips, the light pressure of skin on skin, perhaps softness, coolness. And then returning attention to the top of the head, moving down the back of the head, over the curve of the skull, noticing your neck, any knots, any tension, just becoming aware. And then once again returning to the top of your head, moving attention down the sides, feeling your ears, the sides of your neck, the tops of your shoulders. You don't need to judge these sensations or trade them in for different ones, but just feel them. Slowly moving your awareness down the upper arms, feeling the elbows, the forearms, and just letting your attention rest for a moment on your hands. The palms, the backs. See if you can feel each separate finger. Each fingertip. And then bringing attention back to the neck, moving into the throat now. Slowly moving attention down through the chest. And just noticing any sensations you find there. And keep moving downwards to the rib cage, to the tummy. Just letting your awareness be gentle and receptive. Not looking for anything special, but just staying open to whatever feelings you might find. We don't have to do anything about them. We're just noticing them. And then returning attention to your neck and letting awareness move down the back of your body. The shoulder blades, the mid-back, the lower back. We may feel stiffness or tension. We may feel a lightness and be able to relax. But whatever you encounter, simply noticing it. And now bringing your attention into the pelvic area. Slowly moving awareness down your thighs, your knees, your calves, and all the way down your legs. Feeling your ankles. And then settling your attention in your feet. Just noticing your heels gently held. The soles and tops of the feet. Can we breathe acknowledgement into each individual toe? And then pausing now for a moment, just to notice every cell of the body, all connected. Becoming aware of each part of the body contributing to the whole. Feeling complete and at ease. And then when you feel ready, perhaps just starting to introduce a little bit of soft movement, maybe into the hands and feet. Just listening and responding to your body as we come back to the space that you're in. Perhaps having a stretch, maybe a yawn. and opening the eyes when you feel ready. And as we end this relaxation, just invite you to see if we can continue our day with this awareness both of our own bodies moving and responding, and also awareness of the world around us and how that changes moment by moment, and seeing if we can stay rooted in those individual moments as they flow. And these mindfulness practices can really help us to stay more connected and more aware, and hopefully more accepting, experiencing each moment as it unfolds. So I hope that that's given a little bit of a taster of a few activities that we can maybe bring mindfulness practice to. Our mindful eating, walking, washing up, which will remain a challenge for me and I will keep giving it a go, showering, and then every now and again it can be nice just to do a body scan to maybe try before we go to sleep if we're perhaps struggling to switch off, or first thing in the morning as a way to connect to the body straight away, moving into our day with intention and connection. So thank you all very much, and this will be shared on Facebook and YouTube, and please feel free to share with anyone that you think might benefit, and have a lovely day.